Hello, internet. Hello. Yes, yes, hello. Camera's going crazy. Anyways, yeah, another not quite daily. I know, I'm posting a lot of these, but I don't know, I kind of like that. I like these. I like doing these. They are fun. And even though they are a bit of work, actually, I don't have a problem with that. And I think I'm helping some people, so why the heck not? Now, today we're going to take a look at the replay and I'm gonna give you all of my opinions. But, but, the point of the replay is actually to prove a different point, okay? Because a lot of people submitted replays with levers. And that's like, what the fuck, man? Well, how am I like, you can't win if you got a lever. You're not supposed to win if you got a lever. If it was possible to win 4v5 in an even matchup, everybody would be playing 4v5 because it's just a whole lot easier. So, yeah, don't submit replays with levers. Now, before we get into the video, I do have something I quickly want to go into. I don't know how many of you actually know Hellsing. Hellsing, the manga, anime, and such fun things. Now, I read the manga, I didn't watch the anime, and I just there are two enemies as well. Enemy, as far as I know, like the original Hellsing and then Hellsing Ultimate. And I just yesterday watched one episode of Hellsing Ultimate, and oh my god, is it really that difficult to just have vampires fight against Nazi vampires? Really? I don't want all of that talking. And all they do is talk all the time. They just keep on talking, keep on talking, keep on talking. What the fuck, man? Just fight, kill each other. They talk more than they do in the manga. I mean, come on. They do have more back flashes. I think that's what it's called. Like, flashbacks. They do have more flashbacks than they do have in the manga. Like, they added so much story that's just not there for no reason. It's, oh my god, all I want is Alucard against Nazi vampires and werewolves. There really doesn't need to be any story. It just has to be Alucard versus Nazi vampires and werewolves. Is that really that difficult? Is that much to ask for? And I finished. Yeah, well, actually, I guess that's the right term to use because I finished watching Lesbian Vampire Killers, which is just one movie, but I kind of watched it in two parts for some odd reason. But it's so stupid. If you are looking for a laugh, that's just because it's like Scary Movie. It's basically like Scary Movie. Watch Lesbian Vampire Killers. It's really stupid, and I really hope they make the sequel, Gay Werewolf Hunters or something. That would be fun. Anyways, so let's get into the game. And here we go. This is the hero of today. We got no. TTD Hunter. I don't know what's the second T for. It shouldn't be like TD Hunter. Nah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. How are you supposed to hunt a tower defense? Anyway, so we got TTD Hunter. I think that's supposed to be mean something, but I really don't know what. But we got TTD Hunter, and he's playing Devourer. Now, of course, as always, let's go over the teams. Just a little bit further back. So here we go. We got the Legionnaire, of course, gonna be jungle. We got the Silhouette, Revenant, Wretch Attack, and Devourer. Now, think about what the enemy has got. We got a Monkey King, a Bubbles, Gauntlet, Nymphora, and Vobbies. So, Vobbies definitely gonna be jungle, and Bubbles is definitely gonna be the Suicide. Or Solo, I think they're gonna send him top, because that's just a whole lot easier than Suicide, and Suicide really isn't necessary, though they could do that still. It really isn't necessary, so they can send Bubbles just to the top and then have like Monkey King in the mid and Gauntlet Nymphora. Sounds like a great setup, right? Monkey King mid or even Gauntlet mid, one of those two. I personally would set Monkey King mid, just because I feel like he needs the levels more than Gauntlet does. And Gauntlet is also kind of strong in the lane, like the hook, because it goes through creeps, is very powerful. Getting enemies out of position is just a huge deal during the laning phase. Now, on the other side, we got Virtue Attack, Silhouette, Legionnaire, Revenant, and Devourer. Now, thinking about what the enemy is gonna send mid, it's probably gonna be the Monkey King, right? And then you're gonna have a Bubble Sword on top. So, what I personally would have liked to see is send them, is send the Virtue Attack top, because going up against the Warbeast really can't gank a Wedge and Hack. That's just not gonna happen. Like, even with the help of Bubbles, which is a great combination, like Warbeast Bubbles, great combination, it just won't happen. It won't. They won't catch her. And yeah, it's that simple. Like, she really isn't in any danger. And additionally, Wedge Attack should be able to beat it up Bubbles, because just her damage. I think it's a little bit better, is it? No, it's lower, but her animation is just a whole lot better. And also, she got great stats. Like, the reason why Hack is able to carry is because, first of all, she got a blink, and her stats gain is a stats gain of a carry. It's really, really good. Really good stats gain. Now, since we do have that, I personally would send the Devourer mid, just because he can go up against the melee, and Devourer should be fine against the melee usually. Like, you can use the rod to slow them down and do all of your fun stuff. And then you got the what's it called? The Silhouette Revenant at the bottom, and have that. It doesn't necessarily have to be like that though. I could also see you sending the Silhouette mid, because Silhouette is also great against minions. With her Relentless Salvo, you can just put in more and more auto hits, and enemy melee is just slowly going to drop. And then you do have the Revenant Devourer at the bottom, going up against a Nymphora Gauntlet actually, which should be interesting to say the least. Now, that's sadly not what they are going to do. Instead, they, for some odd reason, I don't know why, they are going to decide to send Hack mid, which I heavily disagree with. Like, Hack really can't do a whole lot against the melee. She can do something, but it's really difficult. Like, if the enemy melee is good, it's really difficult to actually do something. But yeah, they're gonna send the Hack mid, Silhouette bottom, which I also don't agree with, and then have the Devourer Weapon on top. I just think they set up their lanes entirely wrong. They should rotate to the left. Like, they should rotate their entire lane setup to the left. But oh well. So we got Devourer, and Devourer is going to go up against the Bubbles, obviously. No, I don't like his item build. Like, I can see why he would get those. He really wants the mana. 2 Minor Totems is also not that bad, simply because you can build them into a power supply later on, and since you want a power supply, you really want that item. But of course, as always, let me just say a few things. Ring of the Teacher, for God's sake, best item in the game, get it. And if you really don't want that, at least get the shield hatchet combination, because against the Bubbles, he really can't harass. Like, his attack animation is not bad, is bad. His damage really isn't high, and yeah, Bubbles is the one ranged hero where you actually expect the melee to win a lane, but only if the melee actually gets the shield. Because without the shield, even though Bubbles does hit for a very low amount of damage, he still hits for something. With the shield, he really doesn't deal any damage to speak of. So that isn't quite the problem. And the hatchet, I only say the hatchet because this guy is going to miss a lot of last hits. And that's just my advice to you. If you aren't confident in your lasting abilities, just get a hatchet. It's simple. I personally would have gone for the shield and Guardian Ring and 2 sets of tangos, probably. In a scenario like this. Yeah, I think that would have been my item build, and get the Ring of the Teacher early on, just gonna help out a lot. Also with my mana, like Devourer is one of those heroes that has a really low mana pool, but and kind of low mana costs. If you consider his mana pool though, they are high in comparison. But straight up mana regeneration is very powerful on that hero. So just something to think of. Like, if you ever played Aurora while you got a Glaciers in your team, and again the Glaciers goes for the new build, which involves just 1 point into the Aura, you know just how big of a difference that makes. So, just saying. But yeah, so they're gonna be in lane. There really isn't a whole lot going on right here. He's going for the last hit. And it's already taking a little bit of damage. It's not a whole lot. But yeah, he's missing last hits, but again. And as you can see, the bombers, he's putting in actually quite a significant amount of damage. And you really forced him to. And yeah, it's like the sheep would have prevented most of that damage. But oh well. And again, he's missing so many last hits. No, this is something I really don't like. Placing the ball at 2, just placing it at 0. You never know if you're actually allowed, if it's actually possible for you to leave the lane. So yeah, I really don't like it. Just place it at 0. It's just about so. This is a really bad choice for others. You should never ever use the shell in a lane such as this, because if you this is, I like that. Like he saw Bubbles use the shell sword. That's his only escape mechanism. Go in. It's an easy kill. You really can't get away anymore. No, Shazov, he's rocking kind of low. Should use the courier to get himself something to heal. Let's pause right now and check the courier. Yes, it's flying, so just BRW B E Shift R Q, and here we go. You got your item. You got your health pot, and you should be fine. But yeah, he didn't do that. Instead, he decides to walk to the observatorium, which is, it could be worse. Like he could decide to walk back to the base entirely. This still did cost him a lot of time, which is like, you really didn't have to do that. Oh well, nice use of the invisibility right here. Quite honestly, should not just I really like that. You really shouldn't break your invisibility just like that. Use the one hit you get from it to lower your enemy's armor, especially on the Devourer, since this hook is physical. That's very helpful. Like, yeah. Now right here, he's going to walk back to the base, which I heavily disagree with. Just stay in the lane. Bubbles is gonna take a while till he comes back, and also you got a Revenor. In a scenario like this, just ask him. Ask him, Revenor, how about you give me that health pot? I can use it. If you do give it to me, you can definitely, like, yeah, it's just great. Just give me the health pot, basically. I don't even have to, I shouldn't have to argue about that. Just give it to me and the support give it to you. Should give it to you. Now right here, hook, yes, and they actually managed to get the Monkey King kill. I don't approve of this gank at all, because he should be in his lane. And farming, take a look at his creep score, it's 10, that's really bad. Misses the hook, nothing to say about that. Like, again, I don't blame you for missing abilities, I don't blame you for missing hooks. It's just, that's something you have to practice. I can't teach you how to hit a hook. Like, I can give you advice, always aim where the target is going to go, but in the end it's always like, yeah, that's great, I know that, I still don't hit the hook. Practice. That's what it Now his skill build, it's fine. If you really like going for that, I personally like getting 1 point of leather armor, just for the reason that I really like the additional strength gain. Like I think that's a great ability, and also especially in lanes such as this, it's mostly about the slow. It's not as much about the actual damage of the ability. The missed hook, sadly enough, but. It's really not about the damage of the rod, it's more about slowing the enemy down so you can get more in auto hits. And as we all know, auto attacks are actually the strongest ability in the laning phase. So yeah, and yeah, just a whole lot more farming going on. He's missing a lot of creep kills, sadly enough. Which he really shouldn't miss those. Now, talking about the gank early on, why didn't I like that? It's just, you should be in your lane and farming. Like, you right now are supposed to be farming. You got the silhouette in a suicide, so she really won't have a lot of money. Which, again, I don't agree with sending right here, dog gets denied, which is nice. Great. By the way, you could see the combination right there. Bubbles, Warbies is just so good! Like, Bubbles, Warbies is amazing. But legendary. Yeah, Silhouette is getting taken down. Her farm really isn't going to be good. And then we also got a Reg attack. Her farm should be fine. Like, she's in solo, you expect the solo to win. That's just, in most of the cases, you expect the solo to win. And as well as you really expect the lane to be lost very heavily. And the Silhouette really won't have any money. Now, considering that you really should be farming and not running around, like, I know you want to gank, I know you want to help out the team, but right now you're not the solo mid devourer. Right now you're not the devourer that's supposed to shut down enemy. Right now you're supposed to farm. Get some items, get the Shaman's Headdress. I don't even think you should get the Shaman's Headdress. I think the, what's it called, the Mystic Vestment is fine. I think you should go for Ghost Marchers and... Oh, by the way, right here. That's just cause. I think you should go for Ghost Marchers and the Hand of the Black Legion. But if you really want to go for Shaman's Headdress, that's fine. I personally just like to invest into a Shrunken Head later on. But in this game, yeah, that just may not be the smartest decision. Also, I've got Monkey King that's jumping around like crazy. So. And a Gauntlet Ultimate and all that fun stuff. But, yeah. Anyways, now right here, this is an interesting situation. Now, to correctly analyze this, we have to go into this mission. Think about it like this. Okay, right now we got the Revenant, Silhouette, and the Devourer in the mid lane going up against Monkey King, Gauntlet, and Bubbles. Now, how is this a problem? We got a support, a suicide, and an underfarmed carry. But let's just assume he's a carry, okay? Because that's really what he's supposed to be in this game. He's supposed to carry. Why else would you give him a support? Why else would you send him in a farming lane? So, yeah. Okay, so we got a carry, a suicide, and a support. Going up against a carry, or a solo. Let's call him a solo. A solo, a carry, and a suicide. But Bubbles is a far stronger suicide than Sula. So, if we weigh up these two, Bubbles is going to win. If we weigh up him, with him, Monkey King is going to win. If we weigh up him, with him, Gauntlet is going to win. Of course, if we couple all of those, it's just going to be wars for the Legion side, because these guys are scary. They got AoE, they got a Bubbles ultimate, they got the Gauntlet fisting and the Monkey King jumping. Yeah, that's really scary. On the other side, we got like a Revenant. What is he going to do? We got Silhouette. What is he? Like, Devourer, of course, he can do stuff, but the Silhouette really, she doesn't even have Steam Boots yet. So, no, let's keep on watching. What's gonna happen? You have to... This one spots what's going on right here. This is the Legion mission at the moment. So everything we see, they see. The Rower still hiding. I have one really doesn't know that this is happening. No. No. Nymphora also coming in. So now it's a 4v3 scenario with all of the Legion side hero being weaker than the Hellbound side heroes. There really is no point in going in. If you think about the scenario just as it is, don't go in, run away, you can't fight this. You need backup. But look at what happened. Devourer goes in, tries, still cancelling his hook. He really wants to go in. Here we go, one hook lands onto the Monkey King. Monkey King misses this jump instantly. They just plain out get destroyed. Legion, luckily enough, is charging in, uses his strong counter, and it's gonna go down. Silhouette just dies, and that's it. That was a 3-for-1 exchange. 3-for-1. Just because you went in right there. Why did you do that? There was no chance of you winning that fight. It was entirely impossible to actually get something out of that fight, and you still went in. I don't know why, but I would like an explanation. Like, I don't get it. Why did you go in? Why did you go in? But yeah, so the game is still going. Wedge attack is actually going to pick up the Bubbles right here, maybe even an Aurora. We don't care about that. Really don't care about it. Now the Aurora picks up a Razor, which I don't know why. And maybe he wants to build an Astronaut, which wouldn't be the worst of ideas. I mean, why the heck not? Why the heck not? It's just a little bit mana. Yeah, it just costs a lot of mana. So I don't know why he would get a Bracer. I really don't see the reason as to why. In my opinion, again, he should be going for the Hammer of the Black Legion, because one of the Rower usually is very tanky on the magic armor side, just because he got the passive as well as usually picks up the Mystic Vestment and has huge amount of HP. On the other side, we got a lot of physical damage as well on the Hellbound side, and The Aurora really got low armor and is very weak to physical attacks. That's really his biggest weak point. And yeah, so but yeah, it's just appreciation is maybe drop, you know, open misses and it's gonna drop right now. Enough. Legion is still alive, open misses, so this went quite well for the Legion actually. The second power was gonna go down as well. So great fight, get 2 kills out of it. Which is nothing crazy, but well, fight, well, that's good, good enough. Close enough. But yeah, it's just he really needs armor. He really needs armor, which is why one of my favorite items on the row was actually the demonic breastplate, coupled with the shrunken. You pretty much are also. Here we go. He gets taken out. There really wasn't anything he could have done. I don't know if he should have been there. Like he was really low, but it's fine. He just got ganked. It's okay. Really nothing could have done. But I just want you to take a look at his creep score. It's 37 right now. And as I already mentioned in multiple videos, if you're supposed to be farming, I personally aim for 50 creep kills per 10 minutes, or 5 creep kills per minute. Pretty simple, right? Doesn't sound like all that much. Nothing crazy. But still, it's like, got 37. That's 16 minutes in. Yes, you're trying to gank, but who is farming? Who is making use of your ganking? It's great that you're trying to shut down your enemy, but it's like, you have to make something happen. You have to have a purpose. You really don't have to have a purpose right now. I just feel like you're fighting for the sake of fighting. You're not fighting because you have to. You're fighting because you want to. And if you really want to gank all the time, why did you go into a farming lane? Why didn't you give the farming lane to the silhouette? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, he's running around and really not doing anything. He's not 39 creep kills, 18 minutes in. So he made 2 creep kills in the last 3 minutes. Yeah, I guess that's 2/3 of the creep kills per minute. That's almost fine. And yeah, no, this is the point. This is actually the point I was gonna try to prove. This game really wasn't going too well for the Legion already. Mostly because of the wrong lane setup and the really like this Aurora yet again running. This is a mistake a lot of players make. They just run around and do nothing when they are supposed to be farming, and then they just get out farmed by the enemy and are like, how did that happen? Well, what did you do all game long? What was the purpose of you running around? The enemy was farming. What did you do? But the point I was trying to make is, don't submit replays with a lever. Like really, this game is not over. Think about it, it's looking really bad for the Legion side. It's not over. This is something you can turn around. You got the Wretched Tag, you got the Legionnaire, both of which are great turnaround heroes, and then you also got the Silhouette, great carry. Yeah, this can work out if you really want to try. But because the Revenant left, not the Revenant, the Revenant, it's game over. It's game over. What are you gonna do? You really don't have a chance anymore. Gonna get some up here. Gauntlet buff is actually dropped. And Tiro denies himself yet again. So that turned out to be a great fight. Like he got 2 kills. Only lost 1. Though the one they lost was the carry. I feel like the Aurora did not consider himself a carry. He considered himself to be a ganker, but that's not what you are. That's not what you are. That's not what your lanes wanted you to be. And that's not what your team needed. It's really not. Picks up the Shaman's Headrest. It's not going to help. You got 5 armor. Take a look at what the Warbeast bought. You got a shield breaker. He's just gonna he's just gonna destroy you. Yeah, right there. Just taking no damage, just gonna deny himself. Yeah, that's great. Gonna go down. And Yeah, so let's just take a look at what happens. Take a look at the minimap. That's all you have to take a look at. Just the minimap. And what does the Hellsing do? They bunch up. They push as a group of people instead of going on in as individuals. And that's where you really can't win anymore if you're 5v4. Like the reason teams win 5v4 games is not because they outplayed the enemy or something. It's because the enemy didn't abuse the fact that they are 5v4. There's a very famous game that was played a long time ago at DreamHack, where one team, one of the very good teams at the time, it had only 4 players. I think it was KD actually. They were missing a player because his flight got cancelled and he had to take a later flight. So, but the match was already scheduled and they couldn't like reschedule it. So they were forced to either forfeit or play. Now, the famous part about that series was that KD, I think it was KD, if not I'm just going to refer to them as KD. KD actually managed to win a game. Against a top tier team, they managed to win a game 4v5. How did they do so? They picked 3 solo heroes and a Tempest. I think it was actually Corrupted Disciple was one of the solos and I think Hag as well. I'm not sure about the last one. Really I'm not. I know that the enemy team had a solo, but I think. Anyways. But they picked 3 solo heroes and a Tempest and basically forced individual fights. They didn't push as a team at no point. And they refused to push as a team until the end of the game. They literally, all they did was split pushing, split fighting. By the way, team fights going on, he really isn't doing anything. But it doesn't matter, like, you can't win against that. Just take a look at it. Just take a look. Let's go back. And we got Gauntlet sitting here. Gauntlet, not Gauntlet. This Legion should be tanky. And he, attack, Jack actually survives. Damage. Jack will now go down. Even though all of them were here, it's like, what can they do? Nothing. Nothing. They are just getting overpowered. Like the game wasn't over. I know it was looking very grim. I know. And this probably would have been a loss for the Legion side. But it wasn't over. And they just threw it away with the leaf. And really, if you have a lever in your team, you're not supposed to win. But let me finish up that story. So KD was going up against, I don't know. I really don't know. But they picked the 3 solos and the Tempest. And all they did all game long was 4 solo fights. They had the Corrupted Disciple and the Tempest. And the highest amount of people they actually fought with was 2v2. They didn't ever risk anything. As soon as they spotted 3 or more heroes, they just ran away. They let them push. They farmed. In the meantime, while they were pushing, they farmed the 3 other heroes while one was sitting in a lane and trying his best to defend and not die. They didn't fight until they were forced to, and then they got nice Tempest ultimate, and their whole team was farmed. This was the only reason why they won that game. And the other side, they didn't abuse the fact that they were 5. They instead were like, oh, well, I guess let's solo against them or something. It just didn't work, and that's why they lost. And yeah, so I'm done. I know this wasn't the best video because it was kind of short, and about this terror there really wasn't a whole lot to say, but like, I just want to make the point clear. Don't send me replays with a lever. It's pointless. It's pointless. You can't win. If I the more instant I looked at the replay and saw there's a lever in there, I was like, oh my god, really? I already know why you are going to lose. Yes, the Devourer did not play too good. But still, you lost because you had a lever. Simple. But yeah, so I guess that's it. Lighting is still shit. And what is there left to say? Like the video, the Facebook, and maybe subscribe if you're new. I like subscribers. I really do. Like, I like you. But yeah, see you next time, I guess.